What is up, Pod Squad? This is Reddapod coming to you with week 1 of the second season of the Trico Pokemon League. This is the singles 6v6 draft league, and this is the first match of the season. This was a nightmare to prepare against. We're going up against the Six of Hearts, the coach of the San Diego Charizardites. And they have a scary squad, as you'll see in a little bit. But chief among those concerns are a Charizard and a Toxapex. So getting ready for this match was less than fun in terms of stress. But I think we had a good squad going into the match. And I'll talk through, some of the decisions I made as we sit back and watch this unfold. All right, so I led the. I was deciding what to lead, and I thought long and hard about this, and I was so worried about what would happen if he led Charizard. And the only Pokemon I thought I had a decent matchup against the Charizard with was Togekiss. And I ran kind of an interesting set here, where I have Assault Vest on it, and I'm running Ancient Power, Dazzling Gleam to deal with the Morpeko, Psychic to deal with the 2 poison types, and Air Slash, so we have an opportunity for max Airstream. And the EVs are set up in such a way where we can take a max move and a non-max move from the Charizard if we do get into a 1v1. And Ancient Power should kill it in 2 hits. So that was my thinking in leading the Togekiss, just because I had no answer for the Charizard lead otherwise. Anything that switches in is just getting owned. So as we see, he leads the Morpeko, which I did not expect. I actually expected to see Lantern in this matchup, but he left Lantern, and I actually think that was the right call in retrospect. So here we see the Morpeko, and I don't want to leave Togekiss in because it has no physical defense investment, so it's just going to get destroyed. So we're going to quickly switch out into our Duraludon. And this gives us an opportunity to set up Rocks, which is our first line of defense against Charizard coming in at some point. So we see Aura Wheel come out. I think that was a good switch. This Duraludon has some defensive investment, so he eats that pretty well, or she eats that pretty well. So we do get to set up our Stealth Rocks. And Morpeko, I actually had the Morpeko on my squad last season, and I just couldn't get it going for me. There were a few matches where it was really critical, but for the most part, I don't know, I couldn't use it too effectively. So it was actually interesting going up against it week 1. So there we see the Parting Shot here, which doesn't impact this turn, but it'll impact the next turn, as you'll see. So we're able to get our Rocks up now. And this Corsola, I did a lot of playtesting before this match, and I just had no good answer for this thing. So I was just like, alright, we're going to stick Dark Pulse on Duraludon and just hope this does something. But I forgot about the drop from Parting Shot. So I went with Dark Pulse, but it, as you'll see, not as super effective as you might think. Yeah, it does not do much at all. And he sets up his own Stealth Rocks, which is a problem for us because the Togekiss will take a lot of damage to that. So I want to get Duraludon out of here, so we're just going to let off a Draco Meteor and take advantage of that eject pack from the stat drop. I don't want to give that Corsola a chance to do whatever it may be able to do to the Duraludon. I'm just terrified of that mon, so I wanted to get out of there as quickly as possible and bring in something that might be able to deal with it. But I do take a good think here, because I do remember that the rocks are up, and I'm like, okay, well, what do I want to get hurt here? So I end up going with the Gallade here. I think knockoff is probably my best bet. I was worried about a potential strength sap, but he went with Nightshade, which does a decent chunk, 143 HP. You're only living 3 of those, and then with the rocks, like, it's not great. You don't want to be switching that Gallade in and out. So we go for knockoff, but I think he read that and was able to get Corsola to safety, as you'll see here in a second. Sorry to spoil it. And the Pex comes out. So we go for the knockoff, and we actually take out the Black Sludge, which helps us quite a bit. It's a decent amount of recovery, and here I forget, okay, I'm Choice Scarfed, so I'm pretty useless here, so I'm probably going to want to bring someone else in. In this Percurchin, I have set up so that it will one-shot Toxapex, running like a standard Toxapex set, with little to no special defense investment. So that was my idea here, apply some offensive pressure against his wall and see what he does with it. And the Noivern comes in. So I'm pretty happy about this. Rising Voltage, its power's doubled on electric terrain. Unfortunately, it's not super effective against Noivern because of that dragon typing, but we click it anyway. And the defog, holds us in place, and it gets rid of the rocks on both sides of the battlefield. So it's securing some safety for his Charizard, but it's also helping us a little bit in turn. And I hoped Rising Voltage would do a little bit more there, but that was not to be the case. And I figure, I'm probably going to get destroyed here by some type of move. So I figure, if I live, I might as well set up spikes. That's why I'm toying with that, and that's why I ended up going with that. So I figure, okay, if I live this Draco Meteor, maybe we'll get some hazards up. But Draco Meteor is a good move, and we go down. But seeing that special attack drop, I don't think that Noivern's going to hang in there much too longer. So we just want to apply a little pressure here with Togekiss. I'm not really afraid of its attacks now because of that drop. I know it's gonna come out. And I'm running Serene Grace on Togekiss, so I click Ancient Power hoping that whatever comes in, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if Charizard came in right here, that would be amazing, but regardless of what comes in, I'm hoping for that Omni Boost from Ancient Power. But he leaves the Noivern in, which I did not expect. And I got flinched, of course, which I deserve, I'm running Serene Grace Togekiss. It's a healthy dose of my own medicine. But because I'm Assault Vested, that does absolutely nothing, and because of my EVs. So, we just go for the Ancient Power again. And, in these long waits in between, I'm thinking, oh my god, did I mess something up? Did I pick the wrong move? I'm just seconds guessing myself like crazy, half praying that the Charizard's about to come out. But Six of Hearts is better than that. It sends out the Corsola. So we'll get a little chip damage off here with Ancient Power. No Omni Boost for us, though. It's only, I think, a 20% chance with Serene Grace, so, I mean, it's not like the flinch odds with Air Slash. But, you know, it would have been nice there. And here I'm toying with Dynamaxing. I'm trying to think back to the calcs I ran before this match. I'm trying to remember if Max Airstream kills the Corsola from this damage range. But I decide not to chance it. We send Glade out. Maybe try and get another crack at taking that Eviolite off. And we get Nightshaded again, so we can only live one more of those. The Glade's not in great shape here. I also think about using Trick here to put the Choice Scarf onto the Corsola, but I don't think that, you know, Choice Scarf Nightshade is going to make a difference. It doesn't appear that he's using it to set up. So I went with Knockoff, and I fell into the exact same trap I did before, where I brought in the Glade against the Corsola, and then the Corsola got out there right as I clicked Knockoff into a Pokemon that was holding no item at this point. So that was a little frustrating, but excellent play in my opponent's part. He put the bait out there, and I bit hard. So we bring Duraludon back in. I don't think I'm going to take too much damage from whatever this Toxapex is going to do to me. And Scald comes out. And in another unlucky happenstance, we are burned. So we've gotten flinched on the 30% chance, and I think Scald is a 30% chance at burn. So that's they're 2 for 2. Toxapex leaves, Noivern comes back out. We set our rocks back up. The Defog got rid of them, but we still want to guard against that Charizard coming in safely, so we're going to put those rocks right back up. And here Noivern doesn't have much health at all, so I'm actually going to click Thunderbolt and hope that the Life Orb damage takes it out. You know, I don't anticipate him living whatever this is. Duraludon has an atrocious special defense stat, which matches up horribly against this team, but it was my only rock setter, so I really wanted to bring it. Just so those pivots would be not so free for my opponent. So there goes the Duraludon, and the Life Orb damage does take the Noivern out, so I was very happy to see that. Made my life a little bit easier. So now I bring in my next Pokemon. I'm like, okay, well, I can now bring something in safely, and we go with the Glade, hoping that the Corsola will come out. Maybe I'll get my chance to, you know, trick the Choice Scarf onto it, see what that can do. But the Morpeko comes out instead. And I actually I toy with using Trick Room here, based on the speed tiers of the remaining Pokemon. You know, with the Charizard and the Morpeko, if I live whatever this is going to be, Trick Room may prove helpful for the Togekiss and the Abomasnow. It kind of screws the Scolipede over, but you know, 5 turns, that might be enough for those other 2 Pokemon to be useful. And we see Fake Out here from the Morpeko, which was a really neat move. Took me down to, you know, 2 HP, and just wastes my turn, which is really frustrating. But excellent play from my opponent. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going down here anyway. Might as well get some damage because I'm Choice Scarfed. I know I outspeed the Morpeko. And there it goes. So I send Scolipede out, and I click Earthquake, but I I probably misplayed here because I feel like I should have protected to boost my speed, because even if Morpeko goes for RO Wheel, it won't connect, and then we'll both be +1, and Scolipede definitely outspeeds. So this may have been a mistake on my part, but I mean, it happens. So Morpeko gets another speed boost, and I click Earthquake, and Morpeko's not living that one. And now we get our speed boost, and one of the walls is... And we do see Toxapex, we see that wall. And you know, Scolipede doesn't have much health, its focus sash is broken. We're just going to get some more damage off on the Toxapex. And that did a nice chunk there. Toxapex is a bulky mon, so to do, you know, about a third of its health right there, that's nothing to scoff at. And now my back's up against the wall. I have 2 Pokemon left. I think it's time Togekiss just goes for it. So we click that Dynamax button, and we click Max Mindstorm. That shiny Toxapex is nice too. That red pink. Was this a full? I'm trying to. I think this was a full shiny squad, if I remember correctly. All right, so we see the switch into the Corsola, which was the right move. You know, maybe he knows that I have Psychic or Max Mindstorm, so we Dynamax the Togekiss. Max Mindstorm, I'm afraid, isn't going to do much into the into the Corsola. We've seen how much bulk that thing has when the Duraludon attempted to use Dark Pulse on it. So I don't anticipate this KOing here. And as you can see, it does not. But so the Psychic Terrain goes up. Now we go for Max Airstream. We're going to boost our speed just so when the Charizard does come out, we can outspeed it. I actually had the EVs on this Togekiss set to just barely outspeed a Charizard at its base speed, like a timid Charizard, if I was a +1 Togekiss. So we actually get into the position we want to be in. And we take out the Corsola. And here I'm really trying to figure out what mon I'm about to see. If I'm going to see, I don't think I'm going to see the Toxapex because he knows I have Max Mindstorm. I'm thinking that I haven't revealed that I, oh wait, no, I have revealed that I had Agent Power, so the Charizard's probably not coming out. And then Quillfish comes out, which I just click Max Mindstorm here to try and, you know, one-shot it. Just, you know, hope that I don't take any damage here. And the Quillfish uses Destiny Bond. So this Quillfish had a Choice Scarf on it. So it goes before my +1 speed Togekiss with the Destiny Bond. But unfortunately, and this is a learning opportunity, because I actually didn't know this until very recently, Destiny Bond does not work on Dynamax Pokemon. So if you're watching this, do not use Destiny Bond on a Dynamax Pokemon. That was a game changer, because you know, like a Poison Jab would have done a really decent chunk of damage to this Togekiss, to where I don't know if I win because of that. So that was one of the other critical plays in the game. So that, and Scolipede taking some unnecessary damage. We see the G-Max Charizard come out. Beautiful shiny. And we have Ancient Power coming out. Again, just hoping we can get the Omni boost too with Serene Grace. But it's 0 for 2 for us. So no luck. Thankfully, because of our special defense investment, we eat that G-Max Wildfire pretty handily. But it does set up the passive damage, which is huge. And it does a lot. It is no joke how much damage G-Max Wildfire does, along with all the moves that do that. G-Max, the ones for Blastoise and Venusaur, G-Max Divine Lash is also really scary. And that's part of the reason I thought I may expect a Charizard lead, is to set up that passive damage early. But he did a very great job of keeping that thing safe until it absolutely needed to come out. But unfortunately for my opponent, 2 Ancient Powers does it in. Togekiss still barely hanging on. But still no Omni Boost. Serene Grace letting us down. We're 0 for 3. Oh, we click Psychic. Hope we can get some solid damage off on the Toxapex before Togekiss goes down. And we get that 1 minute till the battle is over warning. But the Toxapex uses Recover, going back up to nearly full health. And Togekiss is just going to succumb to the Wildfire damage. And we could see the clock counting down, 40 seconds. I am clicking as fast as I can because I do not want this battle to end in a tie. I'm going for it here. In the TPL, if the battle goes to timer and you and your opponent have the same number of Mons remaining, it is considered a tie. It is not an HP tiebreaker. This is a new rule this season to kind of combat the short timer that Game Freak has so lovingly presented us with. But Abomasnow uses Earth Power there to avoid the special attack drop we would see from using Leaf Storm, even though Leaf Storm would do slightly more damage. So we're able to get that Earth Power off. We get poisoned. We take the Wildfire damage. We take the poison damage. The timer's at 0. We know we're not going to be able to get another move off, but I just kind of click through hoping that, it goes to one final move, but it ends in a tie for us. It says we won, but for the league's rules, it ends in a tie. So that was an incredible match. It was a nightmare to prep against. And my opponent played excellently. I was really happy with the outcome of that. So yeah, big shout out to the 6 of Hearts and the San Diego Charizardites. They played incredibly well. I think they're going to have probably a very good season based on how well he's playing and what that team looks like. And the Hudson Hydreigons, we are undefeated, so we're off to a better start than we were last year, taking an L in week 1 of season 1. But slight improvement, and let's see if we can keep the train rolling.